People are always shocked to find out that I don't have a cell phone. Well, that's not entirely true. You see, I own this cell phone right here, but I don't really use it as a phone. It doesn't function like one. I can't make a call or text people with this. I can use an app to do that though. But the last time I had a phone was about 17 or 18 years ago. And the truth is, I don't really need a phone. The only reason why I have this is for the GPS, and I use it a lot when I travel. Well, anyway, before I navigate our way through the city, we need to find a place to have breakfast first. Conveniently enough, we found this tapas bar just across the street from our hotel, and luckily for us, we got here just as they were opening the restaurant, so we didn't really have to wait until they opened. This was packed last night. We wanted to eat here last night, but this restaurant was so busy. People were actually eating while standing because there's no seats available. And seeing it like this, it's quite a difference having no people here right now. Too early in the morning, everybody's still sleeping. But we ordered this. I hope she got my order because I told her just one order of it for 2 people. I hope she didn't order 2. Look at that. So this is called Serrano. It's basically dried cured Spanish ham on top of tomato paste with olive oil, layered on toasted bread. Jamon Serrano are aged ham which are delicacy here in Spain, even during the days of the Roman Empire. It's basically raw meat covered in salt for 2 weeks, then hung to dry for about 6 months. Well, with this, she's having it with a cup of coffee and green tea for me. Oh my god, this whole thing is hot. Oh my god, my hands are burning, dude. Like this one. It's really good. It has cheese. Those are cold.
It's cold?
Oh man.
It's a prosciutto.
First of all, it didn't have cheese. I have no idea what I was talking about. I was expecting it to be hot or at least warm, but the whole thing was cold. And the taste was very different. It didn't taste like bacon or ham. It's also not salty at all. It's very, I would say oily. Yeah, it's like, but it's not really because this thing is dry. But once you bite on it, the oil comes out. It's weird. And then there's something inside it too. They put some kind of like spread. I don't feel the cheese. I don't think there's cheese.
Yeah, I think it's the fat of the...
Yeah, see? It's kind of... It's really different. Oh man, look at those grease. Yeah, there's like a tomato paste. See, it's like a tomato paste. It's not sweet, but it is different. The only thing that's weird is that it's kind of cold. No, it's not warm, it's not hot.
The bread is warm.
Yeah. I have to say, since I'm so used to bacon, I don't hate it or love it. I think it's just something you have to get used to like it. So after eating my first Jamon Serrano, which wasn't bad to start a day, we made our way to Santa Cruz Palace. I think this is the palace. Santa Cruz Palace, also known as the Palace of the Holy Cross, is located here in central Madrid. It's a Baroque style building used as a jail during the reign of King Philip IV of Spain. And in 1629, he commissioned the architect Juan Gomez de Mora to build this for the purpose of housing the courts and jail facilities. It was only in 1767 when it was converted into a palace. And today it holds the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Spain. Oh man, look at that. There's something there. Well, what's there is the Plaza Mayor, and it's just a few feet away from the palace. The Plaza Mayor, or the main square of Madrid, was built in 1580 to 1619 during the time of King Philip III. Not only was the main market in town back then, This plaza was used for many events like bullfights, executions, and even soccer games. Today, this plaza is visited by people of Madrid as well as tourists because it's surrounded with shops, cafes, and restaurants. By the way, the buildings surrounding this square are all residential. And in the middle of the plaza is this bronze statue of King Philip III, which dates back to 1616. This building right here, with a painting in front of it due to construction, is called Casa de Panaderia, translated as bakery house. Like its name, it was first used as the main bakery of the town. Then after 1732, it served many purposes such as offices and a municipal headquarters of the city. This restaurant and shop is called Museo de Jamon. It's located here at the plaza. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of shops and restaurants surrounding this place, and this restaurant is one of the popular ones. This restaurant specializes in Spanish cuisine, especially ham or jamon. I also read that they offer a great group menu here that people can share. The menu guides you through some traditional dishes and helps you pair wine or beer with it. You know, looking at all this ham is really overwhelming. I kinda wished I didn't eat that Jamon Serrano earlier. But since we're here, I have to at least try something.
We're gonna order one chorizo just to try it out.
So I got myself a chorizo. Chorizo is pork sausage. It's fermented, cured, and smoked. The first thing that comes to my mind when I hear chorizo is that it's spicy. Well, this doesn't look like it. What really surprised me the most is that it was just served on a plain toasted bread with nothing on it. Well, except a thinly sliced chorizo. The first thing that hit me when I tasted this is the bitter smoky flavor it had. Like the Serrano, it's very dry, but at least that one had olive oil and a spread of tomato paste.
Yeah, kinda, it's getting there.
Although the chorizo had so much flavor, I think if they added something with the bread, like some kind of spread, this would have been perfect. But I think they really want you to appreciate the taste of the meat, which by the way is something I'm not going to order again. It just had a bitter flavor. I don't like it.
It's kind of like, it's very different from a regular ham. They cut it really thin too.
We didn't stay at the restaurant that long. I only had one sandwich because the next place we're going to is going to be packed with food.
I hope this is not a mailbox because I threw my trash in his.
Right here is the Mercado de San Miguel, or San Miguel Market. This market was built in 1916 and it's the most popular market here in Madrid, well, at least to the tourists. This is not a traditional grocery store market or butchery. It's full of Spanish food and gourmet tapas. It has over 30 different vendors ranging from seafood, meats, olives, baked foods, desserts, beer, wine, sangrias, and more. And according to my app, there is probably no Spanish food that you wouldn't find at this market. The only problem I see here is that you'll have to eat your food standing because I don't see any tables or chairs. I read that this place gets really crowded later during the day, and to think it's still early and it's already crowded. We weren't really hungry anyway. We just wanted to see what kind of food they have here and maybe even try a few.
I don't know what that is. It's like tuna or something. Yeah, this is octopus. Food paradise. Oh, this is oysters and stuff too. All sorts of. That sounds crazy. That's like a tartar, they call it. And instead of meat, it's like fish or salmon. Yeah. Really? Look at that. They look hard though. They look like hard. Right? This one looks a little maybe juicy right here. This is like skewers. It's kind of big. I don't know if they'll cook that or that's just how they're gonna serve it. Oh man, that's a lot right there. For €6.
I always find it hard to choose what to eat every time I'm in a market like this. It kind of reminds me of food markets in Japan. But then I spotted this.
Different kinds of olives.
Like I mentioned in my last video, olives here are probably among the best in the world.
This one's unique right here. I don't know what that is. Did you get one?
These are olives stuffed with raw salmon and cheese. The other one though, I'm not really sure what it is.
Wow.
My reaction is kind of deceiving because it's really unusual, but the salmon, the cheese, and olive, it actually works.
Interesting. I don't know what it is. It's interesting. It's like it's not even crab. It doesn't taste like crab. It's like fish balls, kind of. Yeah, it's probably like all mashed together.
I really didn't like that one. I think they should have put more olive with that skewer. We walked around the market a bit more, then decided to go here. It's just a block away from the market. This is called the Plaza de la Villa. It's a small square located here at the historical part of the city. This plaza was once the main center of medieval Madrid. It has 3 buildings with great historical value. The first one is the House of Villa. It's one of the headquarters of the Madrid City Council. The second one is the House of Cisneros, which has the highest historical artistic value. Well, it's because it was hardly modified. And the third one is the House and Tower of Lujanes. This one is the oldest of all 3. It dates back to the 15th century. And right in the middle of all this is the monument of Don Alvaro de Bazan. He was a great Spanish admiral in the 16th century, acquiring a massive amounts of military achievements during his years of service from 1544 to 1588.
I don't know what that guy is.
As we walked to our next destination, we came across this church, or what looks like a church with a lot of people. I don't think it's a famous landmark. All I know is that there's a monument here dedicated to the victims of the attack against King Alfonso XIII, which took place in 1906. Well, just across the street is the Almudena Cathedral. It sees the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Madrid. You know, Spain had already planned to build this church in the 16th century. It was only in 1879 when construction started due to financial priorities. But get this, during the Spanish Civil War in 1936, the project was abandoned until 1950, and the building was finally completed in 1993. Anyway, the purpose of the church was to be the largest cathedral the world has ever seen. Well, it didn't even come close. I tried researching it online, and it wasn't even on the list of the largest churches in the world. The first thing I noticed entering the church is the size. It's actually pretty big and surprisingly modern. I found out that this church is also a museum. If you take a tour here, it will guide you through the history of Almudena and various historical artifacts. It also has some interesting paintings as well.
Big church.
For me, I think the coolest part of this church is this bronze door. So just next to the church is this. It's the Royal Palace of Madrid. This palace is actually the official residence of the Spanish royal family. Okay, when I say it's next to the church, I meant it's right in front of the church. You know, looking at this, I'm guessing this is the main entrance to the cathedral. This palace is 1,450,000 square feet of just floor space. It has 3,418 rooms, which makes it the largest royal palace in Europe. The interior of the palace is full of artworks and has many types of fine materials used to decorate the rooms. It also holds a great collection of historical and important pieces such as the Royal Armory of Madrid, silverware, furniture, porcelain, and even the only complete Stradivarius string quintet in the world. You know, even though it's the official residence of the Spanish royal family, the present king, who is King Philip VI, doesn't even reside here. I wonder why. We weren't really interested to go inside the palace. We're actually content just staying out here. Well, right next to the palace is the Sabatini Gardens. Although this garden has some interesting sculptures, a maze, and a pond, what I really wanted to do here is just cut through the garden and get to the fountain we wanted to see. I tried looking for the fountain and found out it's not even here. It's actually in a different garden. And to get there, we had to go back to the street and walk all the way back behind the palace, where the entrance to the garden is located. So this is the Campo del Moro Garden, or the Moorish Garden.
Go in there.
It's named that because in 1109, a Muslim leader and his troops may have camped here attempting to conquer Madrid. But what we're really here for is that fountain right there in the middle. This fountain is called Fuente de las Conchas, meaning fountain of the shells. I don't think it's really anything important aside from the fact that it's right in the middle of this garden, and it sits perfectly aligned with the palace in the background over there.
That's the palace right there.
After we left the garden, we passed by this fountain that actually had running water, and almost immediately it made me want to pee. You know, in Europe you'll see public toilets everywhere, and it costs about $1 if you want to use it, but somehow here in Madrid, I didn't even see one. So we ended up going to this local cafe to use their restroom, and it kind of forced me to buy this churro right here. I didn't have to buy this because the people here were kind enough to let us use the restroom, but still, out of courtesy, I kind of did. Plus, I wanted to try a churro anyway.
It's kind of old.
This churro is definitely old because it's really stale. You know, funny story is that before I bought this, they had this little glass cabinet in the middle of the cafe, and inside the cabinet are pastries, bread, and churros on display. So pointing at the churro, I asked the guy I wanted to order one. I was thinking he was going to the kitchen and make me a fresh one, but no, he went straight to the cabinet and took this one out. You know, I really think that this is just a model display that's been sitting in the cabinet for months. The guy probably thought it would be funny to have me eat this, but even though it's stale and old, it was still good.
So we ended up down here at the bottom of this bridge. We have to go up and cross this bridge. So the only way to go is up there.
This bridge is called Segovia Viaduct. It's one of the most popular landmarks in Madrid, built in 1934. Even though the bridge and its location is historically important, it's also equally known for people committing suicide. Well, at least until 1998. We actually got lost here because of the bridge. See, I couldn't tell from the GPS if this street was on top of the bridge or at the bottom. Anyway, the reason why we're here is because I was looking for this popular restaurant located somewhere around here. We eventually found it. This restaurant is called Corral de la Morera. It's known for hosting great flamenco shows and serves traditional Spanish cuisine made from fresh and local products. Unfortunately, it was still closed. It opens daily at 7 in the evening all the way to 1 in the morning. I knew that coming here, I just wanted to see where it was because we just might come back here later tonight.
Right in front of that restaurant is this.
That right there is the Almudena Cathedral. You know, the church next to the Royal Palace we went to earlier?
If you go all the way here, you'll see city of Madrid.
Well, that's not entirely true.
Right there.
It's just a small part of the city. Just down the road from the restaurant is the San Francisco El Grande Basilica. This church was built in 1760 and is famous for its amazing paintings or frescoes, as well as paintings from known Spanish artists. If only I knew it then, I would have gone inside because the pictures on the internet looks amazing. Deciding not to go inside the church, we walked towards this monument called Puerta de Toledo, or Gate of Toledo. This gate used to be one of the 19 gates of the wall of Felipe IV. The wall surrounded the city of Madrid between 1625 and 1868. I'm actually surprised Madrid had walls before.
It's like that Champs-Élysées in France. That's the street. That's their parking. It's not much of a street now.
I have to say, walking around the city of Madrid is an experience by itself. There is beauty and a laid-back feel to it. I don't know, it's just hard to explain. I guess you just have to be here to understand what I'm saying.
We're looking for El Rastro Market, and I'm not quite sure if this whole strip is the market area, but on the GPS it says it's right here. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of bars and stuff, but... Okay, so I found out that this whole place is open on Sunday. There's gonna be like a whole marketplace here on Sundays.
Rastro de Madrid, or Rastro Market, is a famous flea market here in Madrid. It's actually one of the biggest flea markets in Europe. Like I said, it's only open on Sundays and public holidays from 9 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. You'll find dozens of stalls selling all kinds of things. I mean, just imagine thousands of people flock to this market every Sunday. While walking up Rastro Market, we saw this little area where they set up tables and chairs in the middle of the street. It's pretty random, but I thought it was pretty cool.
I guess the restaurants like across the streets and then they just serve them.
So we're looking for this place called Sobrino de Botín. It took me a while to find out where it was because of all the intersections on this street. And also, I didn't know that it was a restaurant. I thought it was some kind of a public landmark.
Somewhere around here, there's just so much people. Nice though. Wait, what the hell is that?
Sobrino de Botín is a restaurant founded in 1725, and according to the Guinness Book of World Records, it's the oldest operating restaurant in the world. The restaurant's specialties are the roast suckling pig and the roast baby lamb. They have other signature dishes here too, but I think those are the most famous ones.
One of the oldest restaurants here, I think.
So we did try to get a table here, but it's strictly reservations only. So we just decided to make this restaurant an option for our last meal here in Madrid. At this point, we were really getting hungry, and it's a good thing because our next stop is this marketplace located in the neighborhood of La Latina.